he's always hanging with me.
I was hanging with you, my guy.
He brings out his friend Steve.
What you doing? All right, what's up, everybody? It is your boy Laugh May, looking
Live,
cute,
baby.
looking clean, looking sexy, live on YouTube, doing the what we do, talking about MoonKnight and episode 5, which gave us a lot to talk about, gave us a lot to think about, and explained a lot of story. And I'm gonna say this might be one of my favorite, because I'm into psychological thriller stuff, and this might be one of my favorite MCU episodes ever. It's up there with that one of them Loki episodes and all that. This is one of my favorite ever because I'm into psychological thriller, psychology, why this character got this expedition, and Oscar Isaac deserve every award that he should get on Earth. This man carried a whole episode solo with him talking to himself.
Working.
That man was sometimes 3 people, but it's a rumor going around that one part he was Jake Lockley, that we just didn't get it. So as y'all know how we do, Monte gonna give us his breakdown real quick because he might have to leave for the people that don't see him now. Monte.
Possibly. I might have to float in and out like you see these little men behind me. But the things I can take away is, my first one that I thought of even when Grandpa was talking is this has got to be the realest, closest to home Disney Marvel show I think they've had yet. Now, I know Loki hit some tropes. I know WandaVision hit some tropes. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that hit like some different racial tropes and things like that. But I really believe this one has got to be the closest to home, because any and everybody has had something from anxiety to mental issues to at-home situations. Everybody's had some things they've had to deal with in their own past. This episode brought all them things so close to home, whether you deal with family issues, brothers, mothers, fathers, the relationships between the two, your coping mechanisms, mental coping mechanisms, even to the point of making up possibly things like imaginary friends to whole personalities. It hit so many different things that it can hit, and pretty sure a lot of people. This one was a real episode. Like, it answered a lot of questions, sure, but I believe a lot of people probably like, yeah, I can feel that point right there. I can feel that spot right there. I can feel that pressure right there, and this show has got to be one of the realest ones where it hit close to home. Now, you don't really get that sense, but if you go back to some of the other senses, like even things like insanity, struggling to deal with, stress, all that kind of stuff, even the small bits of anxiety that Steven had in the beginning of the show, it's so much that you can take from it, that you can understand from that show. And I would say this has to be one of the realest shows. So I've said before, I'm gonna say it again. I don't know who is writing these shows and these storylines for Disney. I don't know who it is, but they need to be rich. They need to be rich for this, because they are doing an amazing job at bringing these comic book stories and these characters to life. Whoever's finding the actors, wonderful job, because these are not like, at least prior to me seeing them on screen, unless my knowledge, these are not like giant, well-known actors or anything of that sort. These are people that they have found and given opportunity.
This one, Oscar Isaac kind of really famous, but other than that, every other show is not.
I mean, they didn't hit home to me, so I give them so many props for that. My second one is pretty much that most people were right. Like you after a while, you pretty much figured, okay, Steven probably isn't the main figure in the body. Like you pretty much figured that, after a certain point. I say maybe
but they kind of make you doubt at the time. On Arthur Harrow,
yeah, about episode 3, people were really like, okay, Steven probably ain't the main one.
Even in this episode, they try to put in like Arthur Harrow asked him, who came first? I'm just like, did Steven make Mark or did Mark make Steven? And they're like, okay, you still trying to play this up?
So I'd have to say that's it. And it like it's understood, but then like it's the Steven's like, oh wow, I'm not real. Oh, that's and the instant punch. And like, yeah, I don't blame him. I'll punch it too. Oh, okay, I'm not even real. My life is really, I'm basically your imaginary friend, your coping mechanism. Sorry, your coping mechanism. I'm just your out. I'm just to be your punching bag, I believe is what he said. Like, I'm just here to take your blows, and that's pretty much it. And I'm just like, oh man, like, you hit real one with that one, man. Like, I mean, you know, in a nutshell, that's what you were just basically made because I couldn't handle it. And it's just like, well, dang. And then finally, my last point, it goes to what I thought was what I said earlier in a couple of other videos, where I don't really know if this can have a happy ending. If this can have a happy ending, I really don't, because I figured from the beginning, okay, one person has to have the body at the end of the day, and somebody can either like go serve Khonshu or some crap like that, or just this don't really seem like the way to where you can have a quote unquote happy ending. And we already see that this is not finna go well unless they pull some multiverse miracle crap at the end of it. It already ain't looking pretty, because not only the Towerette, which, you know, we got Hippo Lady now, not only the Towerette show like, so apparently up top it's not going well. Like, we getting multiple souls getting, you know, put down here for their time.
Hero going to work.
This ain't good. So
He going to work up there.
This is not good. And you want to go back up there, and then my boy Steven, he was like, right when he got his moment, he's like, wait, I'm you. I can take this bat and go to GTA for a little second. Rap. I can do all that just to get turned to stone or sand, whichever one you want to call it.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie. He got his confidence, and then they just took him away.
I'm like, man.
I'm like, that's good. That's good, though.
I mean, that's going to be the more sympathetic figure in that moment anyway. If you're writing this, that's what you do. You
the thing about it,
Steven go for it.
The thing about it that sort of struck me as a little bit odd, which is why I'm not going to necessarily write off Steven like that just yet, is because the scales were balanced when he met his fate.
That
which
makes
is a bit
sense.
weird to me. It's like, okay, is it more of Steven's not going to be just really gone? It's more of, Marc, you need to accept the things that happen in your life and be able to take them on into a part of yourself. And in that instance, Steven won't really just be gone. It's just the purpose of Steven was just to protect you from yourself. And it's like, since he's gone, you have no choice but to take it on yourself now. In that now the scales are balanced for that, or if it's something else other than that. I mean, it literally showed two hearts, but Steven is generally an individual person, but I don't know if person. So it's just, are they one person? Are they two? Was the purpose of it really for Steven to go so that he can do that? So I don't really know. I don't really know which route they're gonna go with it. He could be gone, but I mean, if they bring Khonshu back, it's like, well, is Khonshu just gonna be like, oh, okay, cool, you know, I'm glad you brought me back. I'm still gonna enslave you. Like Khonshu doesn't seem like, you know, he seems like a justice type person, but he's still a bit of an a-hole. So it's just like, I don't know if he's just gonna be like, okay, Marc, you can just slide. And then if so, it's like, what happened to Layla? Like, episode 6 got a lot of things to wrap up, but it's more of,
I don't think they should
questions
wrap
about
up
Marc
something.
to explain. No, it's more like questions about Marc to explain. Like, what I'm afraid of, I ain't gonna say afraid of, but my thought is, like you say, Grandpa, they may do a MoonKnight season 2. I don't know.
I think you got to.
I don't see a movie where he fits right now.
I'm not talking about. I'm talking about you don't need to finish everything. You need to take care of Marc. Maybe introduce Jake, and the new story is we got to get Steven back or something like that. Because I don't think you could try to do all that in 50 minutes and fight Ahmed. No, you kind of just.
It's only 6 for this season confirmed.
Yes, they only do 6 for
only 6. The other one was just for one division. Was the only one that was the exception.
Yeah, one division was gonna be 10 because it was gonna lead to Doctor Strange. So of course they would try to make that a little.
But and then the thing about it, because there is other plot points. Like, still there's the sarcophagus from episode 4 that both Marc and Steven didn't recognize. Like, the memories of them killing somebody that neither one of them remember doing. I'm just like, you got plot points and you still got personalities in there that's not. So you could possibly do a season 2, but the only way I really see you doing a season 2 is if you don't settle the things with Ahmet in the next episode. Like, if you don't settle things with Arthur and Ahmet next episode, then it'll be a season 2. But if you settle that, I don't think they're gonna pull a season 2. I think they'll just put MoonKnight in some other movie or something possibly. I don't know, because
season 2 they announced Loki right after, so maybe because Loki plot points wasn't finished.
Do you see how much they had to settle in Loki? Ain't no way.
Loki,
ain't no way. So
Loki.
I don't know. I don't really know how they're gonna do this, but
Loki ending was crazy when you saw Kang just stand up there as a statue, and then you were like, "Oh, he took over," and Loki was like, "I'm like, okay, they ain't nowhere near finished."
That's what I say, but you don't know if he took over because they killed him. But it's like, is this just one of the branching paths, or this ain't Loki's spinoff? Because like it could be one of the branching paths that he just fell into. Because also, security or not security, his friend don't know him, so it's just like, oh, am I in an alternate plot line where we kept going, or it ain't gonna worry about Loki stuff. But just Moon Knight got a lot, and it really comes down to Ahmet and I be wanting to say Shinnok, Khonshu. It really comes down to Ahmet and Khonshu. If they get settled away, then this will be over with. If not,
yeah, but I can see them like trying to figure out how to get. And then like Monte said, we got angry Jake Lockley who really wants to get out that sarcophagus really bad.
I'm like, he done snuck out once.
That man shook that sarcophagus angry. They just looked at it like, nah, we don't go that route. We don't open that room.
I gotta see, man. But they doing good. Like
but that story makes sense though. This is what I got from it. It looks like Marc is the body, but Steven is like the innocence. That means Jake got to be the rage.
Very much so. Like Jake could probably be the rage coming out that Marc just, that Marc kept suppressing, because he's like, Marc did sort of suppress all the rage he felt that his mama abusing him. Dad basically not solving the issue, the quote unquote that he did, have to go to the army. And it's just like the anger and rage he felt toward his own life and how it ended up going, and not forgiving himself for the loss of his brother, all that kind of stuff could have just been bottled up into a personality made at the same time possibly that Steven was rarely ever released.
Yeah, because
they didn't push him. When he went into that room and he was pushing him out, they didn't show what happened. He might have kicked his mama's ass that day.
I'm saying,
they went back into the room and showed that was when Steven was manifested. But
no, I'm saying she grabbed the belt and she said, "Why do you make me do this to you?" And that's when they was pushed all the way out the room. Yeah. So with that being said,
Marc did not want him to see.
Steven never got to see it because he said, "Steven, you're not supposed to see this. You're the part that always has good thoughts about your mom."
Then they went to Egypt.
He couldn't have seen. He couldn't have seen.
Well, I don't know, because I kept it going.
He probably turned into that one that turned into the rage. Like, I gotta kick her ass, man.
Yeah, I mean, all I know, he said mama with Shiva, and I'm thinking Shiva is maybe a condition. I'm not sure what Shiva.
I thought it was a medical condition.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's a condition. I hadn't had time to look it up afterwards, but
you definitely started drinking after what's his name, Roy.
And I mean, that was so sad. That was so sad. As soon as you saw her come up with the bottle, you like, oh. I see where this is going. God,
you little boy, you jealous? You just always been jealous of your little brother, and your mama just openly saying that I liked him more than you.
Coping mechanisms, man. Like I said, that people have coping mechanisms. Hers was drinking away her sorrow and blaming her son.
Oh, that's
for the loss of her other child. Coping mechanisms, man. Like I said, this episode will run deep. It will run deep in a lot of people. It's a lot of pro.
Like, just imagine the guilt he felt from losing his brother, and then having that compound with your mama reminding you and hating you at the same time. Ooh,
like, bro, yeah, I can imagine her going to the dinner table, dropping off the brother's food, and then just bumping your shit, just bumping your chair, just
man. I ain't worried about that. I feel sorry for the father. How you think the father got to deal with it? He got to deal with his son feeling guilty over the loss of the child, him dealing with the loss himself, and then dealing with the wife who is blaming the son and then mad probably at you and all of the entire world, and you see her decline, bruh. I'm telling you, this episode hit so many tropes.
But hey, but you know what hit though? When he sat in front of the car and he like, what's this scene? And then we come back to that scene later, and his dad looking out the way. I said, "Oh, they hit that scene. That's the scene. That's the scene right there."
They need to be rich. Somebody is writing the heck out of these shows, man.
Oh, we found out that Marc is Jewish, so that's cool. He had a yarmulke on, so I mean, we found out some of that.
And that's where the accent came from, possibly. Well, not more of a British accent, but.
Can we?
Steven's got the British accent. Can we? What? So, is Marc really from New York? Or like where's Marc from?
Marc is from
New York. It looks like he's from there, or at least some city that looks similar to it.
Yeah, he's
down. They don't really give me an exact location.
But Marc, before his brother died, Marc did not speak British at all. He just like saw a TV. Stephen Grant on the show is British.
And then the crazy thing about it that we got to deal with. Oh, and the thing about we got to deal with at the beginning of the next episode, this probably be my last point before I have to run. The thing I deal with at the beginning of the next episode is the fact that Marc is literally going to have an existential crisis in the beginning of the episode, because this man is literally in heaven and he has to choose not to stay there to go stop Net. Like, you have to realize where they stopped at. This man is literally in heaven because the scales got tilted right. He is in heaven, and you are gonna have to tell. You gotta tell Tower, hey, heaven look cool. I gotta go back up. Like, that is crazy. You literally gotta man, bro. I don't know if I can make that choice. Not even finna cap to you, bro. If you are sitting in heaven and it's like,
yo, they got the Avengers.
Man,
Spider-Man up there somewhere.
Where's the next episode? Where's next Wednesday, bro? I'm ready. Where's next thing? Give me this Wednesday.
Somebody call Gore the guy butcher. Tell him a guy going crazy.
I don't even care. Because next Wednesday, I get that MoonKnight thing. I can sit on that because following up with Thursday with this Doctor Strange and multiverse. Bro, give me next
We in there on Thursday, right?
You right?
We got the reaction show on Friday?
Yeah, because I'm probably going to watch it Thursday I'm probably watching it Thursday or Friday.
Well, if you're doing Thursday, you're gonna have to wait till I get back. I don't get back to probably like 9:30 or something because my ticket is purchased for like 7.
I gotta see.
No, it might be earlier than that. But I'm
going down to the coast Thursday. I gotta watch with my brother, so I will be watching Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, might do it on Friday then. But either way, so next week Marvel gonna be real.
That's crazy.
The end of MoonKnight and Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange pops in. What if Wanda come through there just to end the episode and be like, "Yep, we planned it perfectly." Wednesday, Wanda does.
Oh, you know what?
They did show that same Christmas tree that Spider-Man went across in Hawkeye when they on the same week they came out.
And I mean, the only thing I'm really looking for in MoonKnight is to see who they link it to, because
I'm expecting Blade and Black Knight to show up. Because that's like,
I don't know what I'm expecting, but you got to link MoonKnight to somebody in the MCU so you can bring them, as a part of the team or a part of whatever they're going through. Somebody got to link them. I don't know who they're going to introduce them to, but that's really what I'm looking forward to next episode is, if it's not going to be a season 2, who do you link him to? You can link him to, Hawkeye maybe, dealing with them so they're a little bit regular. You can link them. Doctor Strange and Wanda,
I get
the point of gods, but
I think they're doing supernatural stuff. Unless Gore show up. If Gore come and just kill all of them at the end, I guess.
You could do the leftover Eternal that's still, what's her name? The one that's like eternally looking like a child. Oh
yeah.
Because she's still on Earth. So you could link him to her, but then again, he can't really help her because he don't have the resources unless he's still cool with Khonshu. I don't know about that.
Can we shout out the connection with from the realms of death? There's a multiverse of death in a sense. They shouted out the ancestral plane from Black Panther.
And then they kind of hinted that Mephisto and them got one too. So it's like many death planes.
There are those.
There are many death planes.
As soon as they mentioned my boy Anubis, I was like, oh, you know, but
we still gotta figure out who Osiris captured all of those other gods and put them in the stone.
I'm not even finna go on to the Egyptian realm.
We got a little more work to do too with Indiana.
I'm not even gonna touch the Egyptian part. But.
Yeah, it's not over. Yeah. Just plenty. I mean, it'd be funny if they trolled it and then at the end of the day he said, "You know what? My place is here with Marc." Or with Marc. And we'll be done with it.
Ooh, I know Khonshu ain't finna say that. Get that idea. I know Khonshu ain't finna come with that deal. Khonshu finna get out that little he finna come out that little stone figurine he trapped in and start taking heads, man. Let's go.
Probably had to die to go get to wherever Khonshu is, because I'm sure Khonshu's just not in a statue. I'm sure he's on a plane.
I think they they trapped him in the stone. You got to take it back.
They sealed him basically, just like Amet is pretty much in that little stone one herself. Like they basically sealed him in there. So I'm just like, I don't know if you just bust at it and he comes out, or because that's still in like their meeting place, I'm guessing. So he'd have to go to the meeting place and bust that mug open, or get Osiris or Yara to help. I don't know, but either way, my man got to be like, you know what, heaven is cool, but I gotta go fight this guy right here. I'm like, I don't, I'm gonna leave it at that.
We going to Osiris' grave, but
you know what would be
dope? Not grave, his gate.
If
so
they give me Gore, I would pop. If Gore just showed up and killed a guy at the end, and then but you don't.
3 months early.
They don't have to show his face. They just show him stabbing something and just see the back, and that's how the show end. I'm like, okay, I'm popping.
3 months early. My man just wants Thor. That's all it is.
But they ain't gotta show his face though. They can just show his back, and you just notice. You just see the sword, and it's just like a pop that okay, we ready for 3 months from now. 2.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna leave it at that though. Sign off right quick.
All right.
Buy the merch.
Buy the merch. Where can I find you first?
Well, your boy Monterey Hudson on TikTok, Instagram, click on the link tree below. You can see all the stuff I'm part of, especially when it comes to anime content. Just dropped a very funny video about messy anime news.
Mm-hmm.
The man, I am here. Appreciate y'all.
All right, bro.
All right, now.
Guy. Yeah, Joe, we have a lot of news. This was I want to get this out too before we got Arthur Harrow. He played that doctor role so well. Bro, I'm still confused if this real. Because he kept playing on it. Tell me more about this hippopotamus woman. Maybe she can help you link your personalities together and come together. And then you go back and I'm like, are they playing us? Is they playing us like, is this real and he just working through his mind? Because they keep trying to hint that he's just working through his mind.
But why is he so important to Marc? Why is he so important to Marc to be the psychiatrist? I think that's interesting in itself.
I think they might be trying to say, oh, this dude, he sees him as a villain because he's the dude telling him it's not real. So he had to be the bad guy.
I guess. What they say? This whole thing comes from you manifest the first place you end up, so it's not as confusing.
Yeah, and even
even
the hippo person, like, why is it a psych ward? Because he's like, I'm crazy. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, I think that would be like I love the fact they keep playing off that though. I do love the fact that we don't know what to watch, even though we know he's gonna be MoonKnight, but it gives you that hint that, okay, maybe something's weird or something's different.
And Marc's not that trying to shove off the violent side of him, because he recognized those people that were in the cafe dead.
Except for one person they didn't recognize. That was my even point out. That one, he's like, who is that? And he's like, I don't know who that is. Steve like, what? And it all goes back to that sarcophagus that was beating down the door with a dark room in episode 4. And he's like, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, okay, whoever's in there is angry. And that's why I think it represents rage. I think that's what everybody say, because that only makes sense.
It does only make sense, absolutely.
Because if I got one that represents my peace, I need one to represent my rage too, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm upset that my father let this happen. I'm upset my mother did this to me. I'm upset that I lost my brother. You are my rage point, and you only come out when I need you.
Right.
Because when the only time he ever came out in the series was when he literally was about to go bye-bye. And he was like, and Steven, and then Marc said, did you do this, Steven? Like, no. Like, this is brutal what happened to these people.
What if a couple points here. What if, first off, this other guy, I love to see his MoonKnight design. That would be interesting. Like, I think that's gonna be cool. And then secondly, damn, that's all I can't remember the second point, but I definitely want to see what is this outfit of rage for MoonKnight? We got a suit, then we got like battle armor kinda, and then what is this God of War type character? What does his armor represent? How does he represent that armor? Don't you know?
Oh yeah, so everybody looking forward to it. They were in the comic book at the end of the initial run. They made it where Jake Lockley, Stephen Grant, and Mark Spector, as well as MoonKnight, grabbed Khonshu by the head and like cracked it, and like he was free of Khonshu. So I don't know if they're gonna go with that after they save him or whatnot. Or they gonna go with Khonshu still being with him, or I don't know how Marvel gonna do it. It's very interesting. They only got, like I said, what, 50 to 60 minutes. Sometimes the last episode goes 60, so they'll let it overrun a little bit. But they got a lot to kind of clean up. But they might, like I said, they might have a season 2, because Loki had a lot to clean up, and we're like, ain't no way they doing this in one series. They're like, nah, we'll deal with it next year. We'll do it 2023, because I think Loki come out 2023. Loki 2, season 2. So
yeah, man. So I'm excited. Definitely Oscar. I mean, that was excellent performance.
They put 2 amazing actors in the show, and like, y'all carry this.
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke and Oscar Isaac, again, like, y'all gonna play multiple different people. Everybody else is just background noise, except for Layla. and Khonshu and just do y'all thing. And I'm like, oh.
Yeah, which is interesting that, the only person that's been consistent in these has just been Marc / Steven. Everybody else, even though they bring in like cameos, everybody else feels like a cameo. Like Khonshu got like a good episode run.
Well, Arthur is always in every episode. He just playing different. He might be a doctor. He might be the villain.
And that's what I'm saying. I was gonna get back to him, but he definitely is helping carry the show for sure. But everybody else seems to be a cameo. Like it just really does seem like it's Marc versus Arthur Harrow, and I'm here for it. And I can't wait, man. I can't believe they only kept it to 6 episodes, man. Maybe that's how long the visa was for them to. But a lot of this episode was filmed in a green screen, probably in Hollywood, man. They wasn't even in Egypt for this. They wasn't on location for this.
Oh, they go everywhere. Disney pay money.
We do know that.
Disney will pay money to make these show look good, and you can tell. DC will do so. DC will just do whatever. DC, like we said in a previous episode, DC basically used Marvel to film the end of Peacemaker. Hey, can we use your studio? Like, yeah, bet. Come on, yeah.
And then, the ancestral realm was really pretty, but then their realm is not half bad.
Yeah,
looked like the beginning of Aladdin when they was going through the desert and going over to going to that little pyramid or whatever that was, the Sphinx or whatever. So, but yeah,
the
man,
CGI was amazing in this episode because I never wasn't like the little zombie people in episode 4. The little mummy man was weird when he got stabbed, and I'm like, okay, that looks kind of bad. But Tiamat, she looked incredible. The whole episode didn't look off. Still looked like some.
That was a very realistic looking hippo.
You know what I'm saying? It's a smaller version of a human.
In the details,
yeah,
like on the jewelry and the audit, man, the details was crazy on that show.
Yeah, and it don't look like it don't belong.
Right.
They made it as realistic as you can see a talking hippo look. So I always give them shout out because a lot of shows tried it. They gonna look terrible. Like, yo, get this CGI off this realistic show.
Yeah, we all have nightmares of Flash still. So
yeah, this show touched. As Monte said, this show touched over a lot of it. It's the best character development we've seen in so long. Like that's just it. Cause this episode right here, like, Marc is legit in the MCU now. Like he's like, okay, I really care about this dude. I really care about Steven because, like, okay, he relatable. He got a real trauma. He's a real human who literally separated his personalities to pretend that his mother was a good person to himself. So he had to create a character to be like, oh, my life is great. That's my mom's bed. Do you remember we talked about that? His mom ain't real. She never shows up and she's never there. He's like, that's my mom's bed. She sleeps here. And we come to find out that she's really not alive. And he was having a real conversation though
after the funeral. So I don't know when he turned into Steven after the funeral. Like he was like acting like she was like, oh yeah, you remember this street? It looks familiar.
But Arthur did the same thing when he gave him the phone. And then he like, oh, this is what you be doing. Hey, miss, this here son's right here. And they were like, you can't talk to my mom. She's dead. And then that's when he came to the realization. I'm like, oh. He's like, how are you talking to my mom when she's not alive? And then he was like, and I'm like, Arthur played this way up. He seemed like a devious person, bro. Like a dude out here having a panic attack. He's like, oh, you want me to talk to your mom? You want to talk to hey, mother, Miss Grant, your son's right here. And just give him the phone, like, that's kind of sad to do to her.
Or unless he knows
that
she's dead and that he knows that she's dead, so he might be actually calling the ghost because since they're on the death realm, he might actually be calling her in the death realm. And I don't think he was ready for that. I think that's what got him.
Yeah, but he did, like I said, Arthur he led you through the story. He explained it. If you didn't understand what MoonKnight was, he explained it. When he was in the office, he was like, okay, maybe this hippopotamus, this is what they said in the show, maybe she can connect you and Steven to be a closer relationship. Then that's what they do. Okay, maybe they can unlock your memories and you can deal with your past, Mark. That's what they did. So he learned.
Steven, I never thought I'd see you again.
Yeah, so he basically.
There you are, Steven.
So he basically walked you through it in a weird, creepy way.
Man, he did it, man. Damn good. Everybody get awards. Period.
I'm like, this man, Oscar Isaac got to get an Emmy. This man played 2 roles for a whole episode.
Well, so here's the deal. I mean, let's not forget.
That's 100% done with a green screen too. That's 100% done with green screen people.
After CinemaCon, let's know that after CinemaCon, people in Marvel, they going out on retreat to plan out the next 10 years of Marvel. So yeah, it's a lot of material. So I can't with Feige. I think it was Feige. They all right after CinemaCon, they all went and they I guess now they're about to have like a week-long retreat or where they just gonna figure out where Marvel or the MCU is going. I'm excited to see what they come up with, man.
By the way, for other people that don't know, Black Panther they released some of the film to people.
Yep, and they released 20 minutes of Doctor Strange too.
Yeah, so people at CinemaCon got a treat. It's the rumors that maybe Dr. Doom show up in Black Panther, which would make sense if you know the story of Dr. Doom helping my mind just went blank. I just saw his name.
Dr. Doom helping
Namor.
Oh yeah, we were talking about Namor too.
So yesterday. If you saw the comic book, when after Black Panther passes away, he helps him take the stuff, and it could be a whole war, and it'd be dope. Atlantis, according to what the reports is, the only thing they got able to say was it's a big war that's happening between Atlantis and what's the name, which we expected the whole time. So it's not like it was. So the black people going to war in November, Joe.
And with the help of Bucky.
I don't know. Bucky might have too much drama going on. Joe, you got your spirit spread in November.
Got what?
Yo, let me see a lot of black people die in Black Panther. Watch what happens. I'm gonna be looking at
I don't know. I'm not even gonna think about it. I'm just gonna be reactionary.
Yeah.
Go my first thought. Whatever happens, happens.
I think it'd be amazing. I think going to a whole war sequence after losing your king, and maybe even saying that the king made him scared to face you for so long, but now since he gone, you can go to war and then lead up to world building to the TV series that's gonna come out next year.
That's what I liked about Black Panther the movie, is that they were able to separate them from the Avengers. You know what I'm saying? They were able to just make that a standalone movie. So you can do that with Black Panther and just keep letting him do cameos and the big stuff, or not letting him, but let a character be a cameo, on the big screen every now and then. But I think it can be done. You can just move on to a war.
Yeah, if you do a war, and then everybody have that little tribute, everybody be sad, and then all of a sudden they realize the Rumble happened. Because we know she said, a Rumble happened in Avengers Endgame. Like, we don't talk about that. Like, what is that Rumble in the sea? We don't talk about that. I'm like, what? So it's basically Atlantis. So then you have a war scene, and then you don't get into like, oh, we need a Black Panther. Then you're like, oh, it's about the country. You can do a story like that. I don't think, after thinking about it after so long, I kind of came to a place where you couldn't replace Chadwick Boseman. Then maybe you have to. To now, like, maybe you don't need him right now. Then you can slowly try to put Shuri in that role in a slower pace, though.
They definitely tried to put her into a heroic role when I was watching What If. They put her in there as leading Wakanda. So
yeah, because it happened. And by the way, people that's mad about it, she did it in the comic book, so I don't know what you can. They could shock you though and have it like a year skip, a 2-year time skip. And he got married to Storm, and then he got sick, and then that's how they lost him. Which then that introduces Storm. And then she can become an X-Men because she has nothing in Wakanda no more. Especially if Doctor Strange introduces mutants somehow.
Man,
that'd be a dumb way to introduce Storm without having her have to be an X-Men right away. You can kind of lead her into the story of being an X-Men and kind of slowly build the X-Men to become the X-Men. You know what I mean?
I mean, it's a good thought, but I'm gonna use this last week of relaxing. I'm gonna use that, and then my Wednesday, Thursday is gonna be crazy, and that's just it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna relax and not even think about what may happen. Questions are about to be answered next week, and then we're gonna be right back here with y'all next week as we unfold this whole thing. So I'm excited for next week. We got a big week coming up, so everybody get your popcorn ready. Be ready to like and subscribe.
I'm gonna be on the great couch.
All that stuff.
I'm gonna be on the great couch. I'm gonna be on the great couch again.
He will be on the coast for this one. So, that being said, man, we next week is gonna be crazy. You don't want to miss it. We're gonna have a whole gang with us. We're gonna try and make sure we got all of our comic book heads in this. So that's in our group. We're gonna see if we can get all of them on one big mega show. So that's the key.
Yeah, MoonKnight and what's the name gonna probably set up a lot of
Get
things.
y'all tickets now.
So be ready to be there. I know some people gonna watch this live. Some people gonna watch it after. I appreciate you. Like Joe said, hit that like and subscribe. Uniqo, what can they find you?
UniqoWilliams.com. All roads lead to me. Every link that you need to see where I'm at right now, where how you got to me, all that stuff, all roads lead to me. UniqoWilliams.com.
And you can find me in the link tree below. Books, merch, all that stuff in the link tree below. I appreciate y'all. I've been grinding. You done had 2 videos. Watch our court video on the content channel. Also watch I put some on my Zelmate channel, just random thoughts I have. I'm gonna just start doing random thoughts. It's gonna be in 4K. And I might be walking, I might be doing something, just random thoughts I have. I just want to share because I need to do stuff on that channel. It'll be vlogs and all kind of interesting content on that channel. Maybe even when I stream, I'll start streaming a little bit next week. You can get some of those vibes and all that kind of stuff. So I appreciate y'all. Keep stomping. Follow all the channels because we're gonna start trying to grow everything. The sports channel we'll get back to it. We had some stuff set up, but it didn't work out, so I'll figure something else out. But thank you, Uniqo, for being here. Always here, my guy. Peace.